Well, hello there, YouTube. My name is Tony, and this is TonyLiveTV. And in today's video, I'm going to install some new injectors, an airflow sensor boot, and I'm going to perform a vacuum leak test using smoke. I'm going to start by disconnecting the battery and releasing the pressure from the fuel tank. Next, I'll remove the cable from the EHA, just the cable, get it out of the way there, and the same thing with the potentiometer. Do not remove the device. You'll regret it. I'm going to put some absorbent on here, and I'm going to start with the cold start valve line, and I back it with a 12 millimeter and then a flare nut wrench on the front. Use a flare nut wherever you can. And crack that line and let the pressure out. I loosen these clips because I like to take out these lines together. Here's a 17 millimeter on this side. Like and subscribe. Click the bell while you're at it, especially if you enjoy these detailed videos. Here I use a 12 millimeter. All these are 12 millimeter. Some places you can't use the flare nut wrench, so yeah. You'll use this instead. Same thing down here. I use a flare nut wrench wherever I can. And I'm just breaking it, breaking the seal on each side and just hand doing it. Because I like to take them out as a unit. Otherwise, you can cross-thread these things, at least up here on the fuel distributor. It's all aluminum. So I take them out and I put them in together, and so I don't bend the pipes. Everything comes out nice and smooth. The order is not necessarily this way. After you took out the first two, what is that, 7 and 8, you can take out the EHA. But for video purposes, I'm doing it this way. And now we're coming over here, and I'm going to take care of that other 17 millimeter. Like and share the video, guys. I'm trying to get as many subscribers as I can before I die. Here's a 5 millimeter hex down there. Now I'm ready to go ahead and crack open this other side and fully remove this line, because now I can pull everything back and out of the way and get a beautiful view. Look at the detail I go through here, guys. All right, we're going to swing this away. Look how many cameras I've got going, right? It only took me, 2 weeks probably to make this video. And now again, I'm going to loosen the injector on this particular side. The hard side is 5, 6, 7, and 8, I think. So you take out 7 and 8 here, then you can get to the EHA once you have that. Because remember, I'm going to be replacing that boot. The airflow sensor boot. And, I recommend you do that. Why not? If you're going to go through the trouble of changing injectors, you're halfway there. So a few more bolts and you're done. Give you peace of mind. I loosened the idle control valve, before I disconnect the electrical. This way here, it gives me a little bit of room. I can slide that valve back a little bit. I don't want to pull on those wires, especially on these old vehicles. Then I'll remove it. I did a whole bench testing this idle control valve video. You might be interested in checking that out. How to clean it, test it. And now I'll go ahead and move over to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same thing, all 12 millimeter. I crack the top. Don't put any stress on it. I'm going to remove these, for video purposes. You don't necessarily need to, but it'll make it easier. You'll see. You'll see how nice and clean it is here. Again, like and subscribe. Especially if you appreciate these detailed videos. I don't know how many cameras I got going in this particular thing. But there's quite a few cameras going. I'm wearing a camera. Sometimes I forget to turn that one on because that's not as automated as the other one. These here are 10 millimeter. You notice that one's got a longer post on it. That's next to that linkage over there. These all have spring washers underneath them. And the reason why you have to remove that EHA is because they put this last bolt over here in right underneath the EHA. Now, they could have had this nut actually taller. I think, like a taller nut, and then you could still get to the nut, but I can't get an open end on it or a box end or a flare nut, none of that kind of stuff. So now be careful, because this could have a little bit of pressure behind it. Now we have released the pressure, but everything should be good. You see where that is? Yeah, directly underneath that. But I think, again, a little bit taller nut, and you should be able to get to it. And then, don't forget to loosen that throttle body strap. It'll make it really hard to get out, because you'll see, it's not, if you've got a good seal, so you see that? It doesn't just fall out. That's for sure. So now, look at the room we've got and the view. We can see everything. Now I'll go in here and I will remove the injector clips, retainer clips. And I kind of do everything in an order. And you notice this one clip underneath that little, the strap down there for the ground straps and all that. There's just no room in there, so you need to have that type of a hex, a swivel end or something to get in there. At least it was difficult for me. These are all the injectors. Again, I did a video on these injectors, testing them and everything, and I also did one on installing the injectors, the seals, the whole thing. Right here, all I'm going to do is install new injectors and seals for the injector, but not, the main one that goes all the way down into the cylinder head. That other video will cover all that. Little petroleum jelly. Very thin on the petroleum jelly. Slide this thing up a little bit. And again, just a little bit. You don't want to put too much on it. There's no need for that. Make sure the hole's clean. Drop in the injector. Now, this injector's sitting a little bit high. I noticed, I knew it at the time, and I thought, I'll just push it down, and I didn't push it down yet. But later on, I actually pushed that injector down. You see how tall that is? Notice the height of that. That injector's too high up. You'll notice as I take out this next injector, and that's why I just left that video like that. That was there I could remember to show you. Make sure you get your injector down into it. Sometimes that retainer clip, see how far down that is? And then you'll see how the clip, the distance between the clip top and the top of that injector hex. See that? That's about what you're looking for. It's not going to be perfect on all of them because it is, a spring-loaded clip. But that's how it would work. Now this one here, of course, has that vacuum line going through it. And we'll see what that vacuum line is about later in the video. If you can hold, the actual injector clip, or the whole socket part down, hold that down, and then lift up on the injector. You see, I had really good seals on this thing. Just make sure you don't catch anything. Slide the clip down. Again, you see the distance and the height of the clip? That's about what you want throughout. I'm putting on this little thing to cover up. I don't want anything to fall into that injector, but I don't like this. You'll see, actually, one of them falls away. And so I change over to what I did when I did my other video. Not sure if this is the point where I do it in the video, but in this video, I end up using those caulking gun. They're like little silicone things. You'll see. Again, let's look at the height. That'll help you know. See that? Yeah. There's that one where I had to use that little swivel head to get down in there. That's number 8. Again, there's the height of the clip. Check it out. See that? Just a side note, when you're doing it, because you could easily just not have got it quite right. And then you're going, wow, how come this thing don't run right? This one here is the tough one because it's right underneath that thing. Yeah, see, I just used those little plastic clips that came on it, but now look, they're all red. If you look in the bottom right-hand video there. Yeah. But that's all that thing is. Just came from, it's for caulking guns. But they don't last very long. They'll deteriorate quite quickly, so it's not something you want to use, long term. For example, when I was doing the build on the engine, I used them in a couple places, and they almost kind of disintegrated after time. So they're not good for long term, no doubt about it. Again, see how nice and down that injector went. You can also look at the bottom of those injector cups. Gosh, I can't remember what the name is right offhand. But I'm not stopping the video just to look it up. We're going to continue. But those cups need to be down in there, and you can look at those real close too to make sure your cups are all the way down. I mean, these are seated pretty good. If you look at that video where I show you how I installed these things, they popped in place. So they're not going anywhere. Probably have to break them to get them out. All right, I'm ready to do a smoke test. There's my smoker. It's got a lot of smoke in there. And I'm going to do my best to see if anything's happening. So far, I'm not seeing anything. We're all pumped up. No smoke anywhere that I can see. All right, down here. Here's some smoke over here. Let's see. I think it's going to be these. Oh, I see it coming up from down below. Oh, it's deceiving. It's falling. So I think it's in here. Yeah. See that? All right. And there's a little bit coming out over here too. Not back in there, but up here. I see a little smoke. Not coming out of the injector. It's coming down here somewhere. I see it right here. It's all right here somewhere.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. It's gotta, see, it's following that line. It's something here. Maybe it's this connection here. I can see the smoke. Oh, I see. Can't tell from where yet. Lots of smoke right around this whole area here. Yeah, it immediately goes right there.
Because it dissipates. Then you don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anything's coming out from down here yet. Not that I know, except you're blowing it back this way. There might be something here. It's really hard to see. Well, it's definitely coming out of those little boogers. So let's start with this area here because I can see I have even new black hose. Let me try that. So this here is pretty much what I had to replace. It was leaking on both sides of that, and it even had a fracture. And this one here also had a leak, the actual pipe itself. So let's see. We're all pumped up. Let's see, do I see anything? I took this all apart so I could see in here. I'll mention that I have this disconnected. And the reason why I plug in it here is because all this does is run over here to that line that's sitting underneath there. I checked the check valve because if you think about it, how did that smoke get over there? Because that's a check valve. Well, I checked it and yeah, it works. So realize that smoke is deceiving. You know, it's going to find its way out. Like right now, what's happening is it's filling up and going past the pistons, right? The rings. So smoke is coming out, but it's probably just going in the engine because there's nothing happening here. Even back in here, I replaced that black line, that one black line. So they had it split. And right on each side of the split, it was leaking like a sieve. So now we don't have that problem because it's a full line that goes all the way back into the throttle body. So everything's looking okay. There are no leaks anywhere that I can see. We're fully pumped up. I'm glad that this one I didn't replace because it really wasn't leaking. I don't know if that's supposed to be a straight line or not. But I replaced that thing, that 90, a line or two here, the black line, that's a different size. I had all this stuff. I was lucky I had all that. So, well, we have no vacuum leaks. And, you know, the main ones are, you know, whether or not we have a vacuum leak with our injectors. Because that's what we just did. We don't have any of that. And the donuts, of course, that's the intake manifolds, all been redone. And now we have all of that. Yeah, there was one down there I actually had to replace too. It was leaking on it. I don't know why it was leaking. That one in the front right there. That's the one that I did. Well, I think that that's it. After successfully completing the smoke test, it's time to replace the airflow sensor boot. Now, I've done a whole video on renewing the airflow sensor. At least that's what Mercedes calls it in the manual. Check out that video if you're interested. I'm not going to go into any details here. There really is none, other than loosen the bolts, in a crisscross type pattern originally, and now I'm just removing all the bolts. Speed up the video a little bit here. And not all the links are the same. If you look at that one at the top, that one's a little bit shorter than all the others. So I just laid it out this way to make it easier for me to put back together. I'm really anal about that. There's a little couple of pry places on there that you can pop that off. I've already done a video, like I said, this is freshly done, but I didn't change that boot. And, if you're going to do the injectors, why not change the boot? It felt pliable and everything to me, but, they're only about $50. So it's worth it. How often have you changed it, right? As often as you're going to change injectors. That's what I would say. So it's got that little ridge in there that you have to, fit your boot into. And basically that's it. Just go right around that. Make sure it's seated well. And I use just a little bit of petroleum jelly. And then just line it up and be careful. Make sure everything fits. You can feel it kind of fit. See how I'm adjusting it there? And then I just hand tighten all the other ones there on the top, and then the same thing here on the bottom. And then I'll tighten in a crisscross. I kind of start from the center and just jump around to the outside edge. And once I've done a crisscross and I felt it, then I kind of go around it and feel it all the way around. I just want to get a good feel for it. I don't think there's any specs necessarily, but 10 Newton meters is probably about what it would be. And again, I put a little bit of petroleum jelly on here because it's double lipped. So I'm trying to get that inside lip. This is the old clamp, or how Mercedes had it originally. I'm going to this other clamp. Again, there'll be links in the description for this, and as well as all the videos I'm referring to here. Thanks to the Facebook group for making that suggestion about that clamp. It's not necessarily easier, but it's better, or better, however you want to pronounce it. But it has to fit right in there just perfectly. You can't just use a regular old hose clamp. And then I use this, a flexible screwdriver, basically. And then fit it in. Simple as that, really. It's not that difficult. Like I say, you got those 4 extra bolts, to remove, and a clamp. So why not pull it out, inspect everything, look at your throttle plate, make sure it's not, filthy and dirty. Now would be a good time to clean it. And then just put it together the same way you took it apart. Put in those spring washers, your 10 millimeters, that special extra length bolt there at the top. If you like these videos, please subscribe, and share the video and tell your friends all about it. I'm not a talking head, although it might seem like it because I'm talking right now. But no, I don't sit behind a green screen or sitting, just talking about it. I get in there. I'm doing it. You're seeing me do it. And it's basically all live. I just have multiple cameras. I set up the cameras. I think about the shot. But it makes you also think about the job being done. So you can be a little bit better at it. You see, I can get that nice and tight. It's nice and clamped in there. That top image up there, it shows you how the band went. You have to make sure it's pushed down all the way. Again, just in the same order. With all these things out of the way, it's just so much easier. There's other ways to do it, obviously. You could just, if you wanted to even just change the boot, you could just take off the injector side and just pull the whole thing out. But to me, this is the easy way. And since you're going to be doing the injector side, why not do the boot? Make sure everything's correct. Now on to the idle control valve. Again, I did a video about this as well. Testing it and cleaning it. You might be interested in that video as well. Same thing. I didn't want to stress that wire, so I pushed it back, put the wire on, and then slid it up a little bit so it fit nice. Clean off my connection here, throw in the O-rings. Those are special O-rings, by the way. At least that's what they tell me. Now, I'm reinstalling the EHA now, but you don't really need to do that. Just do it before you put in 7 and 8. You know? But I'm doing it this way again for the video. You see I got a nice clean shot there. You know, it looks good. So, yeah, every single shot, yeah, I'm setting up cameras. I have 3 cameras that I move around and 1 other camera I don't really move. And I wear one once in a while. And I'm wearing one today. So I feed in that vent tube the same way it came out. And again, I have a video on how all the routing of all the vacuum lines, all those things are all in the other videos. I have different playlists. You know, if you need to do it, I probably have done it. So check the different playlists that I have and the videos. This is the order that I did everything. I wouldn't clamp this yet. I would actually route my lines that need to go inside here first. You'll see that there's no lines in there right now. But after I do this right here, all of a sudden the lines are going to appear. And that's only for video. So I wouldn't tighten this one yet. I would leave this disconnected and then run on the lines. But I just wanted to show everything because once those lines are in there, it's all dirty. You'll see. Watch. Boom! Look at that. All of a sudden, this line is in there. You see it? How did it get in between there? You can do it, but it would be it's just difficult because it has to fit underneath the fuel pressure regulator and everything just right. So, yeah, that's how I did it. I cheated you guys as far as the order. But I think in that other video that I did, I actually tell you about the order and why it's necessary to do it a specific way. Now, I'm tightening both sides. When I put on these injector lines, I put my fingers on both sides and I thread it and I kind of bring it all down together. Even this, I kind of get it together and do both sides. And I always try to back hold that. So twist the other side. Yeah, I'm not skipping anything, you guys. You know, I might be cutting it in between, but no, it's always running. I can only show two video cameras on the screen because of the equipment that I have. I can pop in a third one when I'm wearing it or using it somewhere else. But like I said, just put it together the same way you took it off. Put together your vent tube here and your potentiometer and linkage. Again, you see why I say it's easier if you take it out? You can lift those lines. Hook up the EHA. My clamps, check all my connections. Everything is looking good. Oh, forgot that. All right, I guess it's time to check for some leaks. Pumps are all pumped up. Let's energize. Let's cycle through it. Energize. I don't see any leaks. All right, she's all charged up. Let's go outside and have a look here. Well, I don't see anything. All looks dry. Yep, I don't see anything. No leaks anywhere that I can tell. Yep, I would say that that's good. All right, well, let me get this thing set up for a startup and we'll see how it works. Okay, before I get started, I just want to point out one thing here. Is I have a connection here to a vacuum gauge, which you can see in the other screen, that I will have that highlighted so you can see what vacuum we're drawing. I just have this hooked up. This is for a future video, you guys. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about that and some other wiring. One more thing. The thing that's underneath here, that I'll put the name of it right here. It slips my mind right now. But that thing is supposed to come on with the ignition, from what I understand, and it's a check valve. And it works. I put power to it, but right now, guess what? I don't really have power to it when I put on the ignition. So, which is fine. I have it disconnected right now, and we'll have to sort that out because my tack doesn't work, right? It's not perfect. It should be. And that's what we're going to be solving, all those little issues, and that's the reason for the things that you see. Ooh, that was easy. Nice and quiet, I tell you. That's one quiet engine. Looking good. I don't see anything wrong. You know, you have to bleed it. All the other vacuum lines are connected. All those back down in there. The one going all the way over to the other side. That's what it is. Yep, that gray line goes into all that. There, she's nice and smoothing out. Really nice. Now that it's warmed up. It's cold today. Yeah, she must be warming up a little bit. She kicked down some. See, I'm running a high idle. Again, this is all for a future video. Duty cycle sits at 80.4. Yeah, there's some problems still. Well, look at that. It's not vacuum. You see that? Between 18 and 22, and then I have my altitude here in the Phoenix area. Lots of videos coming, you guys. So that's it. I think that's Tony Live for today. Look at all these crazy cameras and stuff I got going. I don't even know if you can see it all. But, well, there you go. I mean, that'd be a great winter project. You know, maybe this weekend, right? It's Friday. It's gonna be like in the 80s here, you guys. I mean, the 80s, and I don't know, what is it? January 31st or something. I can't believe I don't even know what day it is. I've been tied up in this thing. Yeah. There's guys out there that say, hey, Tony, when are you going to drive it? When it's perfect. No, we have to go through everything, right? We just did all the vacuum. We checked all that stuff. We know we have new injectors. We've done all the fuel system. Now we've got some electrical things going on. So there's some things. And you can't set duty cycles, so how can you tune it, right? You don't want to tune it if you got vacuum leaks or fuel problems, right? We still got to check fuel pressures. Let's make sure that these fuel pressures are right. How do I know? Let's check it, right? I know it's all new, but I think we need to check that too. All these things would be great little winter projects, I think. You know, get it all ready for this coming spring. I should be out driving it right now, not working on it. Because this, oh man, I should be taking a ride up to Sedona or something. It's just beautiful, you guys. Beautiful. I mean, look at this, look at the skies. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the skies. All right, let's see. It's probably warmed up. I've been talking all this time. I was just gonna, cut the video. I think I should. What's the temperature? Let's go have a look. Temperature's still kind of cold. You probably can't see that. It's a little, I'm getting some sunlight coming in. So she's still a little cold. I don't like to just let it idle, so I'm gonna, play with it a little bit. I don't think it's a good idea to just have your vehicle just sit there and idle. Ooh, it sounds good, right? And I haven't even tuned it yet. So I don't think we need to do any more waiting around. The temperatures are up there. You can see I'm still climbing. Because I think that when you measure that, it should be at operating temperature. And you can see the warmer we're getting, the more vacuum we're pulling. So I'm already, what is that, 21 already? Of course, my idle's a little high. Like I said, you can take this figure, like right now, see it's climbed up 10 hertz. So if you were to calculate that, that's about, you go 15 times that. It's probably around close to 1,000, somewhere right around there. And that's what I've got to solve. Now, it's not the cold start valve, not the valve itself, but it's not any of the things itself, because we've checked all those, right? I have videos on all that. But it could be wiring going to it. Is that getting the proper voltage? Same thing with the EHA over there. Since I'm not able to pull this, right? Not able to pull a duty cycle. And actually that valve that's underneath there, yeah, it's not getting 12 volts. So there's all kinds of things just not quite right. Not quite right. And that's what it'll be in the future, guys. I want to thank you for supporting me and clicking the bell and all that, telling your friends. Yeah, like I said earlier, I want to get a lot of subscribers, the most subscribers I can get before I die. Because I'll be working on this until the day I die. Thanks again for watching.